All right. Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome back. I'm just gonna leave the mask on. I don't care. Uh, welcome back to the stream. I am Raw Zim, and we are doing 2 Point Campus tonight. I still don't know why my thing broke like that, but well, it seems to be working for the moment. Hopefully, it'll stay working.
Oh,
I don't know.
we got another shiny.
You were too hot. You overloaded your OBS.
Oh.
Dun, dun,
Woo? Woo.
OBS was like malfunctioning,
Oh, whoa.
too hunky. Brr.
I just felt like leaving the mask on tonight, Tsunami. So that is actually a good idea. If I do get sick, I could absolutely just use the mask and, there you go. I'm sick tonight. And
Oh, it is also Halloween.
oh, yeah. Well, actually, I mean, I guess there isn't much scarier than COVID, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I just want it to be. I just want it to be Werewolf Month.
It is Werewolf Month.
I know, but we should rename it to Werewolf Month.
Oh.
Like, why does it have to be Spoopy Month? Why can't it just be Werewolf Month?
Werewolves
Because
are
it's not just
spooky.
werewolves.
Yeah, but werewolves are
Give
the
the
only
other
thing.
denizens of the night a chance to shine as well. Have their day.
I mean, maybe the other denizens of the night should get bit by werewolves so that they become part werewolf, and therefore they are then part of the goodness.
Sometimes you gotta ruffle some feathers. When I was in school,
Hey, we got another shiny, everybody. Heck yeah.
a few of us got into the
Kurama?
school mascot's coop. And
Yes.
boy, did we ruffle that chicken.
I think you're
It was all
obsessed.
friendly, of course, but
Oh, 100%.
we meant business.
Okay.
Just
As
some
long as
food
you're
for
aware of
I'm-
that.
student
I'm not going to
curiosity.
deny it. Yes, I like werewolves. I like
Werewolves are
furry. Like, wait a minute.
It's okay.
really
It's
like
okay.
You know, I
We're
actually
not-
had somebody on my stream not too long ago that really liked werewolves.
It's okay,
Yeah.
Kurama. We don't hold it against you. I just need you to sniff this rag for me and let me know if it smells like chloroform. We'll get
But
you
what
the
does
help
chloroform
you
even smell?
If I help,
I've accidentally dosed myself with chloroform before. It was not my best moment.
You've actually dosed yourself with chloroform?
I've accidentally dosed myself with it, yeah.
need.
Did you actually get knocked out? Because that shit takes like 3 minutes to do that.
I felt really woozy and quite bad afterwards, but I didn't actually get knocked out.
Okay. was
I
gonna-
got a vintage bottle and it has the warning label and everything on it, and I was washing it and rinsing it out
Oh.
with just using water and not actual cleaning products.
Okay, that makes
That's
sense.
why you don't mix bleach with cleaning fluids in the toilet.
Yeah, I know that much.
Wilkshire, to answer your question, my day going forward? Well, it seems to be going good. I think it'll keep going well going forward.
Ugh. Emerald, you scared me. What the heck, Emerald?
Well, bad news, Zim.
Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that Loot is dead. Oh no. Whatever are we going to do? Anyways, what's your new character?
Does anyone know necromancy?
That wasn't the bad news.
What's up?
Thank you for this follow, Sarah Von Silicate. I love that name, by the way. That's
Oh,
an awesome
Sarah! Hello there!
name. No, they're mine.
So what is your bad news?
The only day they can do it is Sunday.
Okay. Well, that's okay. We got about 12 weeks to prepare.
Why does it keep going further away?
Keeps going up.
No, it's next week.
So what was that game that you were going to be hosting next year?
Next year it's gonna be right. I need to figure that one out. Do you know which one that was? Neon. Ascent something. Ascent to
It's prob-
Ascend.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
could be
that's right.
that, but isn't that one set to start in the next 2 years?
That's
You're
right.
right.
I
You're
completely
right.
forgotten about it because it's already been 5 years since you had mentioned it.
Y'all are planning games years out. Like, okay.
Okay, gotta have something to do while we're in the retirement home.
I mean, listen, I feel that because my so one of the campaigns I'm in with my
Okay.
friends, which is actually
Karama, I do want to clarify. We're just teasing Neon. We're not actually planning it out that far in advance.
you say that, but like one of my buddies. So I've been trying to tell a story with a character of mine, at least like get it finished for legitimately freaking years. Either the campaign stops or the person suffers a horrible, gets touched with the very bad finger and just insta dies because they
What?
lost 100 hit points.
What?
Oh, you mean in game? I was like, in person.
I got touched with a
was
really
thinking
bad
in
finger
person
today
as
and I
well.
died.
I was very concerned there for a moment. It's like, wait, are you just casually talking about your DM just kicking the bucket like that?
Huh? No, my character.
Yeah, we go through a
How?
lot of DMs around here. They keep getting poked.
No, the death of a DM ended the most recent game.
Wait,
Oh,
really?
my condolences.
Okay, that was probably a really dark joke, but you know what?
Now I'm sad again.
But no, it was the death of a character, and it was kind of sad because I had been talking with the DM like I wanted to do like this big reveal that hey, by the way, it turns out he's a werewolf, and
He
it had
died
been
before you got there.
no. Here's the thing, okay?
Oh.
So it had been months, okay, because this was basically we were doing the quarantine squad campaign, and the people I play D&D with, they're not furries. All right, they'll like the joke is that I'm the furry of the group. But we had gone to this town that was basically only beastmen, and I was a human, and my other people around me were elves. One of my other buddies was playing as a Yuan-ti. Yeah, he's not a furry, but he plays a scaly character. And so since I was a human, but I was also a dwarf, or not a dwarf, but a what's that? A druid. I was also like part druid, part artificer, with some stuff in Blood Hunter, which was totally like out of the. It was a really weird multi-class. Anyway, so I did that, and I was human. But you see, I went into this town of beastmen that didn't like humans. Beast druid. So I said I shapeshift into a wolf. And for like multiple sessions, I was role playing as the group's dog because if I turned human, they would kill me on sight. So I was essentially a dog in this town. The very last, then a session comes up and it's like, hey, by the way, it's the Autumn Moon Festival, which the DM rolled a D100, and there were certain furry activities happening in this town in game.
Oh my.
And he had to say that, and I looked at him and I was just like, I thought I was the furry. He's like, dude, I can explain. I was like, you want to? He's like, yes, the dice. I rolled the dice and that's what they came up. And I looked at him and was like, you can lie about that. We don't know what the dice rolling means. He said,
Yeah.
no, I gotta stay true to what the dice says. It's like, okay, so there's a bunch of furries, having fun time.
Hut piles.
Yeah, basically. We then check in. I have to turn into,
Hey, I'm sorry, but I need to interrupt you real quick because I just unpaused my game and they had one of their fake advertisements And right after you said that, it went to this, typical porno music where it's yeah, with the deep voice. And I'm just like, really? The freaking timing on that.
Oh, you want a burger?
That's,
Hello there,
game-
Naomi.
That's great timing.
So anyway, I go
Somebody clip
around
that,
and
please.
here, I'll wait. Crap, I don't have Zoom stream open. Someone clip it, please.
You don't have my stream open.
I had to reset my thing. Okay, I might have gotten it. I have no idea, but I pushed the clip button.
Zim,
You
I barely
gotta
got
edit
my
the clip.
stream open.
You gotta clip the. You gotta edit the clip and stuff.
I'll do that. Just not right now.
We'll check. I am. My day going forward is okay. I don't know what you mean by that, but assuming you're asking how my day is going, it's going well. But carry
it's
on,
a threat.
Furama.
Your day will be okay.
So I go through that. We're in the town. We're doing some stuff, and the party's doing some stuff, teaching the first one of the bard is teaching the furries how to shoot a bow properly. And I'm just going, and I decided I want to go to a fortune teller. So I go to a fortune teller who I think just happens to be a Marten, actually, which I guess fits. Put my paw on the thing, and immediately this fortune teller can see pretty much right through that. Okay, this is obviously a disguise. And my character didn't know they were a werewolf at this point. They just know that they got attacked many years ago and nothing has happened. Anyway, they find out. My character finds out and is like, "Oh, there's a wolf there." Well, and just thinks, I mean, I am a druid. I did turn into a wolf. It's probably nothing. It's fine. This woman talking about the beast inside, it's fine. Turns out that night just happens to be a full moon. I fail all of my rolls except one. That was the roll that basically determined if I could control myself or not. So I had complete control. It's just I had completely transformed and I couldn't talk.
Oh.
And this was outside the town where there were guards. And so I get outside the town because I wanted to do some reconnaissance. I see the light of the full moon and I transform. And I'm just like, wow, first time. I've been playing this game for 6 months. Now I'm a werewolf. Okay, this is bad. My party doesn't know about this. What am I gonna do? All right. Keep in mind, I had just ripped through all my clothes. So if I change back, I'm naked and I'm fully aware of this. So I'm out there thinking, you know what? This is a beastmen town. Like, I'm a werewolf, so I'm basically a beastman. Maybe they won't know the difference between a werewolf and a beast, right?
Oh no.
So, because I figure, you know what? I'm fully aware. I'm not a ravenous beast. I mean, I look like a werewolf. I can't talk. But I still have my mind about me, and I can still sort of control my body in some sense. So I go up to the front gate. I see the guards that happen to be elephant men. And I try to communicate with them. They don't buy it. At first, they look at me and I, try to, sign, and they're just like, is this some kind of joke? And, they're starting to get real angry. Who are you? And I'm just like, I accidentally bare my fangs because I'm just like, and then after they see the big teeth, they're like, oh God, it's a werewolf. And I'm just seeing myself, crap. They yell for the heroes that had just come to town, and my party comes out and they're just like, what's this? And they're about to fight me. I'm like, no, don't fight me. And then I sort of sign, I get into the sand because I'm thinking, wait a minute, I can just write in the sand. So I decided to draw a picture of a broom in the sand. Because it was a traveling broom salesman who just happened to be a werewolf. Next thing I know, the party's like, oh God, Geralt just turned into is apparently a werewolf.
You're listening to Two Player Radio.
All right,
the
and
most
so
popular
they understand
station
me,
in the
but now
greater
we're in this
2.8
situation where
area. Nice.
our artificer, who
We're
was
serving
human,
more
is
great
apparently
radio
not
with
human,
the
just
side
turned into a werewolf and is
insidious
now outside the city
advertising
gates.
Right after this.
How do we explain this? Because like we can't, because like it's not like they could tell, because if they bring a werewolf in, like the town's gonna kill me, okay? But if they say, don't worry, it's a werewolf, don't worry, it's our human broom salesman that's a werewolf, they're still gonna kill me and kill us because they're human into their things, okay? And so you want to know what they settled on?
Killing you?
No.
Warning, stupid questions.
So they brought me into the lounge, to the lodge, and at this point, I had gone in and out, as essentially this dog, this wolf dog, and the nice clerk had been like, oh, is this your dog, and fed me some nice little kibble, and it was fine. They told the clerk, it's just like, hey, we're checking back in, and the clerk saw the werewolf and was just like, and they looked dead in the eye and said, oh, this is our dog. And apparently the clerk's face just went like white, and it's just like, okay, and then turned and said, I've been feeding a monster. And then back up to the room. So they were able to convince that, yes, our wolf dog is apparently also a werewolf that just happened to transform. We don't know how he got out. Yeah.
Please leave
And then
your
they found out-
torches and pitchforks at home. Thanks.
I wish that was the end of that story, because apparently they had a sentry in my room, so when I changed back they saw that I was human, so it was like, okay, so not only did we blow literally all the cover, now they're just like, oh, that dog that you brought in, whom we thought was a dog, which was actually was a werewolf, but wasn't a werewolf, it was actually a druid. So it is a werewolf, but it's a werewolf that's human.
You know what I would have gone with? It's a
What?
dog that's human.
I mean, that might have worked, but
Oh, he turned into a Bob.
it also didn't help that I had no clothes, because the DM had literally said, yeah, you destroy all your clothes. So I had to get new ones.
Hey there, Pan.
So, and here was the greatest part. So after that, then a new player joined, and it was like, hey, I'm here looking for Geralt, my character. The queen wants to see you. It's like, I literally just had an episode where I didn't know I was a werewolf. I turned into a werewolf, and now you're telling me the very next day after that, the queen wants to see me. That's a little sus. All right.
Maybe
Just a
she's
bit.
into werewolves.
And
She
apparently,
likes their big muzzles.
I mean, maybe. And again, it sounded like, okay, cool. I'm finally gonna have a character arc. In all my time of playing D&D, I've never had a character arc. That session, I touched a thing I wasn't supposed to touch and had no idea. Lich comes out, finger of death. My character's dead. There's no rolling. It's just dead.
Oh,
I was so sad. I came back later later in the session with a character that was specifically meant to absolutely destroy my character. And I told the DM, this is revenge for killing my character. And then the campaign ended.
oh.
Just because everyone just kind of separated, or what?
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Ah.
it went on hiatus, and then it never came back.
Gotcha. Yeah, that happens more frequently than I'd like with these sort of things.
Yeah, it takes a lot to get a good group that sticks together through the long haul.
Well, and I mean, it's like putting together a D&D campaign is no small task.
It's not.
Like the DM's put in a ton of work. Like I know the DM of my current campaign, my buddy Dakota, he'll go on. The joke with him is that we're like, okay, guys, see you next session in however many months, and we give him crap, but in actuality, like we'll do one session, and one session will be like 8 to 9 hours of D&D, which is totally fine. Like 8 to 9 hours every like month and a half. Like we've all collectively decided, hey, listen, you know, that's fine for us if that's what you want to do.
There's apparently some stuff here that I haven't discovered yet. Interesting.
A new subscriber
So,
arrives.
Zim,
It fills you with determination.
One moment.
Sirio Khan just resubscribed for 19 months. Razim Heart.
I'm debating to go make ramen or not.
Sirio, thank you very much for that resub and your 19 months of support. I really appreciate it. So Neon, do you think you're going to be ready in a year?
yeah, I think. Wait, don't you mean in 6 years?
Oh no, it's already been 5.
Oh,
Yeah, we established that earlier, remember?
yeah, I'll be ready in 2 years.
Okay.
Okay.
So I was going to ask you, because I had to like stat out the dragon and all that, and one of the concepts I was thinking of, which I'm just bringing up to you in case it's just too much and I should scrap it, is that one of the things the dragon wants is a horde of its own that grows with how powerful it grows. And right now it just wants $700 worth of horde.
Might be better to scrap that. It's not a bad idea, it's just I feel like it might wind up derailing the campaign too much.
All right.
You know, if the Marten twins are gonna have to go and try and get this horde, not to mention try and keep it on the ship.
It's only $700 though.
Yeah, it's only 700.
Hey, Chrisovs, good to see you. Big hearts to you as well.
Hello, Chrisovs.
Hey, Chrisovs. It's more the fact that, you know, right now it might only be that, but we definitely don't have that much money as players.
As longtime listeners will know, I have a wide
That's
range
true.
of
I had to
hobbies
check if
and
you guys could afford
interests.
$500.
Tracking isn't one of them. I mean,
I don't think we
Haggle the
can.
dragon down.
I think between all of us in that group, we have about 100 gold.
Satisfaction? If you ask me, it's
Oh no,
just
you
one
guys
of the
actually
tricks
have
that
way
big
more gold
business
than that.
uses to train our brains
I
in the
don't remember
troubles of
that.
nation.
Just have to sell off like all your stuff.
No moving me.
Despite the rumors, the campus grounds are not a toilet.
Please, Mr. Dragon, would you be willing to take my last shilling? Hey, Panthonea. How you doing? You're gonna go lurky lurk? Okay, I appreciate. I appreciate that you're willing to lurk.
Engage the lurk.
Lurking mode engaged. You're almost done with that mural of Dune? I know, I've been watching you post images of it to my Discord. It looks awesome. I can't wait to see it completed.
Same. I'm looking forward to it.
If you hear this, please drink some water. Thank you.
Then it's urethane time? Heck yeah.
All right, everybody, drink some water. The lady said so. You heard her. Nice, man.
I'm gonna go see about getting something to eat.
Cereal.
I'll be right back.
Cereal. Thank you for getting me all moist. So, Karama, you there? Karama! Kuramikin?
Nama, are you there?
To whom
Cool.
it may concern,
Ra!
I'm so disappointed
Ma!
in you. Thank you.
Unit lost.
Did he actually leave?
Negative. Archineer did, though. And Archineer is back.
Out of curiosity, when was the last time you heard me say anything?
Right now.
No, before that.
Right now.
Before
A
I
fair way back.
I've
About
been talking
30
the entire
seconds
time.
ago.
My mic Discord decided that my mic wasn't a thing anymore. It's been doing that lately.
Well, we hear you now.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
I tapped back
One
into
ball gets a
Discord
lot
to
of praise
see
and
if
press.
Karama
I
was
just don't
like
think it's
deafened or
healthy
something,
for
and I realized
someone
my
or
icon wasn't
anything
lighting
to
up
get
at all.
talked about in such a positive light. Makes my eyebrows uncomfortable.
Insufficient
Sure,
acoustics.
they've been
And/or
responsible for
electrics.
our so-called
And/or
signals.
technological advances.
Or coding.
Some of you might love your automatic toilet paper
Insufficient.
dispensers, but I was
Just
doing just
insufficient.
fine on the toilet. Thank you very much.
Doctor, return to the hospital. Thank you.
Well, I was going to ask Kurama about his character, but apparently he's just not here anymore.
Unless you're speaking and you're not muted or some other fashion.
Unless
You
your
mean-
Discord has also borked out.
Rama, every second you don't speak will add a mutation point to your character.
Karama, if you are talking, leave the call and then rejoin, because we can't hear you.
The water is now boiling.
Congratulations! You are achieving
you.
food.
Well, step one for food anyway.
You are also achieving adulting.
I'm an adult?
We're
Does that
sorry.
mean
I
I
don't
have
feel
to
like
pay
achieving
taxes?
anything.
Yes, yes, it does. Congratulations, and we're sorry.
My money.
Unfortunately, it is not your money anymore. It is our money.
Yeah, that sounds like college.
Speaking of, I probably should get groceries tomorrow. I thought today was Thursday. Well, it is now Thursday, but I thought legitimately
Thursday.
Wednesday was Thursday.
It is Thursday.
And
Oh my fuck.
yes, I already corrected myself. But I said I
It's
thought
7
Wednesday was
a.m.
Thursday. Anyway, I thought Wednesday was Thursday, and I got really sad when it wasn't.
Why?
Because then I want to get to the weekend faster.
My weekend is halfway or 2/3 spent.
Because he thinks Guild Tales is stupid.
Wait, what?
What?
I don't know. That makes sense. Why you would want it to not be Wednesday?
Oh, I see. Yes.
I don't want it to be Wednesday because Guild Tales is on Thursdays.
Just now.
Yeah. Guild Tales is on Thursdays. I don't know why anyone would want it to be Wednesday. It's more fun on Thursday.
I feel like getting a change of music. Let's see. What do we got here? I want to change out this music. Hey chat, what kind of music do y'all want to hear? Genre wise.
I've got stuff for yours and stuff.
Synthwave? Alright, let me see if I can find some synthwave. Ooh, we got Neon with the 8-bit. I do actually have some 8-bit.
8-bit
Since
is fun.
synthwave was suggested first, we'll do some synthwave for a bit, and then I'll do some 8-bit.
I got your 8-bit. Boop. Oh, wait. Go.
My money! I took my 8
Oh,
bits.
whoops. That
How could you steal from the poor Vappy?
Easily.
Yeah,
He earned
it
that
is true. I don't
fair.
have thumbs.
He earned that fair and square working in the brothel.
The last time, loot is not that.
We're not talking about loot. We're talking about the Vaporeon.
Yeah, I
you get
earned that
the
money.
8-bit.
Oh, thank
People
you for
just
the.
like to come in and just stare at me.
Thank you for those biddies, Wolfstein.
I tried with the other one, but theirs is a minimum of 10.
Oh,
Guess I'll have to step this one up.
I guess you're talking about mine. Yeah, I put mine at a minimum of 10 because I didn't want one bitty spam.
I will say you
Fair
can. You can, or if you're worried about alert notifications, at least on Stream Elements, you can adjust it so they can only it only triggers with certain amounts.
Yeah, but then what's the fun of that? If somebody donates it, I can't see it.
I mean, it's still in your chat.
Yeah, but my chat goes by so quickly. I mean, look at it. It's practically just it's like a NASCAR going down there. Well, one with a flat tire, but still.
I will make this work somehow.
One singular NASCAR.
Success.
16 bits.
I am out of here.
Thank you for the 16 biddies, Wolfstein. I appreciate
The
it.
constant fear of alien.
Yeah, I am double the
Disaster
8-bit
and
generation.
revolutionary upheaval doesn't stop you from having a fine and restful evening. Hopefully there's
Oh
a
no,
next
I'm being
time.
turned pretty.
Students are reminded that you don't have to ask to go to the toilet.
Oh no, not
I
pretty.
feel so pretty.
Yes, greetings, Pantanair.
Pant, 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 pant.
Yes, Panther
Oh, that
exists.
reminds me. I need to get some custom stickers over into my sticker thing. Hey, Zim, do you happen to know a good sound effect to do a sticker slapping?
I will get back to you on that whenever I figure it out.
Fair enough. I'll probably take a look over in my Stream Deck sound library and see if I can find something there then.
I know I just have the generic sound for the slapping stickers thing.
Yeah. This
How
music is
are
way
you?
more epic than the game actually is.
How the heck are you, Pan? I hope you are doing fantabulously. And if you're not, then, well, you better get there.
Yeah.
Yum num num.
Num 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 num.
Nom, 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 nom.
Num num num.
Yes, I think I am officially a true influencer.
Yeah, what do you influence?
Apparently, people to go num 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 num.
Oh, you're the num num guy?
I feel like
You know,
that is
interesting. You want to know the most famous person I've ever met in my life?
yourself.
Well, yeah, true, but still. I mean, somebody
Also,
besides me.
Rob, you're breathing into your mic.
The most
Rob is
famous
gone.
individual I've ever met is the Yahoo guy. The one who did the Yahoo Yodel.
Ah.
He taught me how to yodel. I'm not very good at it, though.
Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. Hee-oo.
Yodelay, yodelay, yodelay. hee-hoo.
Rob, we're getting a lot of background noise from you.
We're
We are getting a lot of
background noise from you.
Oh. Alright.
Shiny.
I put my head down and my
What?
headset
did you run
mic
away
went into the
from
laptop
Shiny?
fan.
most of what you're saying is muffled now.
It's because I got my hands over my face. I put my head down and my headset and mic went under to the laptop fan cooling pad.
Oh.
Oh. Well, don't do that.
So
Why did I
was,
run away from the shiny neon? Because I had already caught that shiny. I'm looking for new shinies.
Wosteen_Oil wants that student union to be named Phoenix Res and Relaxation.
I'm taking a look in this little logbook right here. Well, not this logbook, but in this database, and I'm hunting down all the potents that I don't have yet.
Aren't there like more than one kind of shiny in this game?
There is. There's standard, which is your normal, potent, which is your first level of shiny, and then perfects. I've only managed to find one perfect in the entire game.
Sounds like you got
So,
to
and
get
I'm not
good,
hunting for
scrub.
perfects. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not hunting for perfects. They take way too long right now. I'm hoping I can get something that can help boost my ability to get them later.
Sakurama back finally.
Yeah, I'm just working on my my universe for Invicta,
Ah.
which so happens D&D thing that I host with my friends, but they don't really seem to have much interest in it because I had to take a long break, and apparently I'm not the best DM, so I keep making mistakes, but I keep learning from them, so I'm kind of like
that is the important thing, is that you learn.
No, DMs never make mistakes.
Oh, I've made plenty.
They're perfect the first time they run a game.
My newest mistake has been like, so the biggest the thing that I have a problem with it is is trying to balance the story I want to tell with what the players want to do. And so like, because I'm really big on the whole like cinematics. Like I don't want to have to like, I don't like telling the players about a really cool cinematic. I want them to go through it. The problem is when you're trying to tell a complex story and you have all these cinematics, it can get boring because they feel like they're on rails, which I thought they were okay with, because they had told me, hey, listen, I like what you're doing. Yes, you're putting us on rails, but you're giving us different ways to, solve each individual problems. But then just recently, apparently they didn't like how I did the last session, but they also liked one story I told. So it's a huge balancing act. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, for sure. DMing and anything like it definitely is. If you do need help, we got a lot of people in the community here that are well experienced as DMs. Panthenea, Rygon here, myself. I can't really speak for Neon yet, but he seems to. Okay, don't rely on Neon.
Oh, can I? Have you tried ignoring your players' wants and desires?
Well, you see, I tried.
Case
I
in
don't want to do that.
point.
I don't want to do that. Like, the fun I get out of a DM as being a DM is when they're engaged with my story. And I mean, if I just ignore what they want, then they're not going to engage with my story. Like I had a really good quest where essentially it was one of the NPCs was had been wounded in combat and they were turning into a werewolf because of their wound, and they essentially they were afraid of what they were going to turn into because their mom, like essentially their father and mother, like their father was killed by a werewolf and he didn't want to go face his mother who hated werewolves because what a werewolf did to her husband. And so it was essentially the party had to go and find this guy and try to convince him, hey, listen, you need to go and face your mom. She'll still love you for what you are. And apparently one of my players had like maybe had some insight to a situation kind of similar, but he basically went off on this whole this whole speech about how family and all that stuff, and I just looked at him and said, I'm not even going to make you roll like just based off of how you role played that. It was a nat 20. And
I do approve of doing that.
I later talked to him about it, and he said, hey, all my players had said that, hey, listen, that was a really good quest, and we really enjoyed that. So some wins, not perfect, but at least there were some good things about it, which I need to take to the next campaign if I do another one, but I want to flesh out the world first.
I am definitely noticing a very common theme in literally everything you do.
I mean, listen, there's got to be werewolves in space, okay? Werewolves in space is something that I have wanted to do forever. And every time I try to tell the story, it just fails.
I am definitely noticing a very common theme in everything you do.
Goodness, how did you resist not playing a silver? Not silver. Gosh, an exalted. There are Goldions. They're not Goldions. They're lunars. How did you resist playing a lunar?
Okay, Sark is literally a wolf, though. That's the thing. Literally.
Yes, and
It's not a
so
mutant?
I will say you are a beast folk, yes. But lunars do lunars literally created the beast folk. And not only that, but they can be all sorts of different forms, not just standard wolf anthro. I think I broke him.
Oh no, I was just thinking.
Reweighing options.
His eyes have gone wide as a
Listen,
new world has been opened.
Either way, I'm happy with Sark, and he's basically my persona now.
I can open your eyes.
it's funny because I haven't even, because the previous campaign did them. So this campaign is they're doing the because there's multiple different time periods in the story setting I have, but they're doing the they're
Be right back in a moment, chat.
what was it they're doing the Lycan Wars, whereas
for being
the previous
patient.
setting that they were working on was Shattered Fates, which was like it took place before the whole like Lycan Wars thing. Actually, no, in that timeline, the Lycan War didn't even happen. Anyway, that timeline exploded because the bad guy was going to detonate a bomb, was going to use a super weapon that was going to basically wipe out all life and remake the galaxy. But the Dominion was like, "Nah, we're not going to let you do that." And so Nero sent basically an army to go and stop the BBE. They gave them a neutrino bomb, and then one of my player's characters was like, I'm going to call an orbital strike on my position so that this giant nine-tailed fox gets a hammer of dawn to the face. And he did it. Somehow he rolled good enough to survive an orbital strike to the face. This is a normal level 3 human character against against a direct impact orbital strike. I don't know how he survived. He shouldn't have survived, but he did. And then the timeline exploded, and then the game started.
So, when am I going to rope you into DMing a game for me?
Once I finish the lore of at least one part of this universe.
Great. Get to it. You'll start next week.
I need more than a week.
He's going to be running the Sunday slot.
Zim, I don't think you understand. This timeline is millions of years.
All right. You'll start in 2 days.
That's even
Ow!
worse.
What was that for, Jake?
It isn't in 2 days. It's in 3 days.
All right, how about this? I'll ask you this. What era do you guys want to run in?
I honestly prefer medieval fantasy stuff, but huh?
I wish I could. It's all space themed. It doesn't matter which era.
Well, then why'd you ask me what era I'd want to run in?
Because each era has different things and different rules.
What about how about the era of magical fantasy swords play in space?
Okay, but that's both eras. Actually, it's more common in the first era, but
it's completed.
But if you're in the second era, like that's like you're basically a god at that point, and I can't give you god powers right off the get go.
There you go. First era.
All right.
Hello there,
Welcome
Strawberry
back.
Leech.
But I mean, I'm good with whatever. What system are you even using?
It's standard D&D with some a bit of twists. Also, so railguns are very, very powerful in this universe, by the way, because they ignore AC.
Oh.
Yeah. They are
standard.
Huh?
This is standard D&D.
Yeah.
That's not in the standard D&D rules.
It's not. It's standard. It's standard D&D, but there's a few rules added on. Like there's new custom race, which is again the Kinnear, which are basically the werewolves that have new racial traits.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, but if it's first era, then you probably won't play probably won't be able to play any of the like the divergent Kinnear, just like the standard Kinnear that doesn't have really cool racial traits. But you'll get access to the Volnai, which are basically space foxes. And if you get powerful enough, you can ascend to become a 9-tailed super fox.
Ooh, I like.
How do you become Marten?
You say I'm a Marten, and you're Marten.
Cool.
The basic premise is that in the beginning,
Wait,
there were
wait,
two
no.
powerful races.
You said you're a
two
Marten.
powerful races.
You said you're a Marten. All I see is a Marten now, and all I hear is Dukes.
Oh, geez.
Duke.
Okay.
You're a Marten. Accidentally fails to specify if able to speak.
Go ahead, continue. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. So basically, the whole saying is that in the first era, there were the two like ascendant races that were essentially spacefaring, super powerful things that essentially were the gods of, or as close to gods as you could be. They were the Elder, which were giant nine-tailed space foxes, and then the precursor Consensus, which was a machine intelligence, which was essentially non-carbon based life. And they were getting along, actually no, they weren't getting along just fine. Anyway,
Wait,
the
were
space
they or
foxes,
weren't they?
They were at first, but then the space foxes kind of double crossed the precursors, and yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
The foxes aren't exactly the good guys.
Okay.
They stem from more of the lore of the nine-tailed fox being a trickster and wanting to spread chaos and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's not just it's not just happening to Japan. It's happening on a reality scale. But you know what? They did it not because they could. It was because they wanted to basically rule all of reality, because they have god powers, and who's going to stop them?
Me.
Absolutely no one.
No, Neon just said he was going to stop them.
That's not how that story ends.
Go ahead, Neon. You can take them. Has anyone ever seen that meme of that one lady who's like, I can take on the Taliban?
And if I host and you actually go and just if you actually rewrite the story, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I might just retire.
Yeah, Zim, I'm rewriting the Sunday game to be his story, except where I personally spank the nine-tailed foxes to death.
Okay, I'll see you in 5 years when you are done writing that. And
Hey,
planning
good night
for
there,
literally.
Gem Time.
And Gem Time came by.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Good night, Gem Time.
They have a very lovely wagging emote.
I want one.
Good night. Sleep well.
Anyway, they do the double crossy, and then they decide, you know what? Since we're gods, we should start making species, and then they create mankind because, they need basically servants or slaves. They need to supplement their population, and so they created humans, and they were just after a couple. Well, no, they didn't first create humans. They first created a what was kind of. They created a thing, and they were like, yeah, this isn't working out. Let's try again. Eventually they create humans, and they said, okay, cool. They're very, very durable, very hardy. And I mean, they can breed relatively easily. Bam. We've got slaves to supplement our population.
But why would the foxes need someone? Never mind.
Well, because being all power, the thing they gave up for basically having primordial god powers was in being able to literally bend reality was their ability to breed in large numbers. So they've got a very, very stable genetic code, but they can't evolve. They can never grow their species. They're stagnant because they're already gods. And so they're like, well, there's only a few of us now. They're actually deities and god foxes. The rest of our species are still just low to the ground anthrofoxes. We're going to rename our subset of the species to ascendants just to make sure that we're better than them. Again, they're not the good guys. And then they create to supplement their species. And then the humans revolt, go all Imperium of Man on them. And yeah.
Joke.
I like them. It also explains a lot of humans were made in their image.
The more you
Wait, is my
revise,
Oh, the Marten bot is not working.
Yes.
Okay,
It's funny.
so, Kurama, we'll put it on Thursdays.
Oh no.
So you've got, I don't know, about 10 hours?
But
It's already Thursday. You should be having the game right now.
okay, so
No, later
unironically-
on tonight.
Okay, so unironically, I would actually be ready to do a session 0.
Yeah, 17 hours.
Right. I normally, you're right, yeah. I miscalculated.
Joke.
There's a Marten video. Oh my god, and it's the adorable little baby beachy babies.
Oh.
Look at the little precious beachy babies.
Unironically, though, Zim, if you actually want me to host, I would definitely be willing.
Those are very cute.
What would it be if you were to do it ironically?
It would just be Warhammer.
Gotcha.
All right, so Rygon, you're gonna be a player. We'll drag Wostein into this one as well.
Okay.
Rob, congrats, you're part of this game. Cancel your other obligations.
Good morning. You're listening to Ricky
As long as it's done by like 2 a.m. GMT, we should be fine.
I have no idea what time that is, but it'll be.
I think that's like 8. I think that's 8 p.m. Central Time.
Just gonna throw it out there. I'm a host, so I might be going a little late.
You what?
I'm West Coast TZ, so yeah, like 10 a.m. or like 9 a.m. Central is like 7 a.m. my time.
That's why I said PM.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we would be. I mean. Oh, Panth, yeah, I'll drag you into it as well.
Yeah.
There, we got 4 players or 5 players.
And Neon? Yes. You're not in it. Okay.
Neon
Using
does not
ethereal
need the added
fluence to
stress
make
right
Neon
now.
the player. I replaced myself as sacrifice.
No, legitimately, I would be willing to put together another tabletop game. Not that soon, but I would be very willing to put it together.
I'm all for it. You know what? I'm gonna say let's do it. If you want to put one together, I will DM it in this universe.
We found another potent, everyone. We got another shiny.
I need Thursday though.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm giving you Thursday.
I need the gap
I'm
between
giving you Thursday.
I need the gap between my Wednesday and my Friday games.
You just said that you needed Thursday.
I need to have Thursday free. I'm not like you. I can't magically keep everything straight in my head. I am thick. I am thick in the fucking skull. I need time to sift through things.
Wilkshek, unfortunately right now we are, I think we've got a good amount of people already on voice. I would have to say no right now, but maybe later.
Vocal saturation achieved.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, that means I actually do need to really start writing. You know what? I've got a month before I start work. I'll be fine.
Well, you better make sure you're going to be able to run this even after you start work.
I mean, if it's any time that... So the current game that I'm part of now, like that time's perfect for me. Because like it's at least an hour after work or when I would be usually getting off.
I mean, if Rygon actually does want to join, we'd probably do it the 8 p.m. to midnight Central Time.
Okay, so what is Central Time compared to my time?
It's ZST. Does that help?
Time zones are hard.
Well, they
Yeah, we
are
got
when
it
you're on
shiny,
the
everyone.
when you're on the other side of the world.
Okay, so Central Time is 2 hours ahead of me, which in the winter is only 1 hour ahead. So yeah, that's fine. That works.
Cool.
And I gotta say, I really hate. Well, I love and hate that Arizona doesn't recognize. What was it? Daylight savings, because it means I don't have to check my phone.
What? You were both talking at the same time, and Wostein had a bad echo.
My state doesn't recognize daylight savings.
Yeah, your
So it
state
changes
was doing it right.
And I love it.
Well, it should recognize it. Just recognize the one that gives us like an extra hour of sleep, please.
Funny is where I live, we have it in writing that if New York ever gets rid of daylight savings time, we will too, but not until then.
Come on, New York. What the heck?
Why New York?
I think it has to do with the
Thank you for the hydrate, Henry.
not Walmart, Wall Street. I think it has to do with Wall Street.
I see.
The ramen has been eaten.
Can change after all these
Good.
years. Lately,
It's very
I've been
good.
enjoying a
nom.
bowl of hog logs in the morning. It's true what they say in the advert. There just wasn't enough pig in my
Well,
mouth.
Panth, if you would like to join, I would be happy to have you join.
I think I have, but let me check.
What, Wostein?
Oh, Pantanea asked if whether or not I'd seen the Noctowl painting, and I think I have, but I'd like to double check. So I believe it is the Noctowl in front of the moon, but let's see. Yes, it was.
Enjoy your summer. I know I will.
It's always grand to see.
The academic year is starting soon. Was there anything we wanted to do?
But yeah, Rygon, you do, if you were to want to join, you do get first dibs as one of the DMs.
Won't help you now.
Oh, okay.
Because you're not
What's it
in
about?
one of the other games. Were you not listening to Kurama's very long-winded explanation about it all?
No, I fell asleep.
Okay, to be fair, I would have done the same thing because whenever I talk about this universe, I tend to get long-winded because I've always I've wanted to tell a story in it for a long freaking time, and every time I try, it just explodes.
What?
I hate and love you.
Yes, I heard everything.
That is the correct response.
Don't worry, session 0, y'all are gonna get a. You'll see.
Honestly, for me, I'd have to think about it. I've already got quite a few commitments on things. So, for example, my game, which is hard enough as is. But as a player in another game, I could probably swing that. My schedule is actually going to be the same with my new work, so that kind of helps things out.
This is not me pushing you towards it. I'm just saying I do give DMs first dibs on games unless they're already in one. Just because, you know, I
That's
do
nice.
my best to make sure that we don't have forever DMs. And I feel it's the least I can do for, you know, all the work you put in for it.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah.
I'll have to know a little bit more details before I can make a final decision. You said this is like D&D, but apparently it's got railguns and space foxes, so...
It uses the D&D system, except it's just got a couple of like changes to make it fit more with the setting.
Okay.
I mean, isn't there a D&D 5e in space? I've forgotten what the exact rulebook was
or
called.
Starjammer, I think it is.
Something like that, yeah.
I didn't spare.
Yeah, be Spelljammer.
Yeah, I'll think about it. If you can tell me kind of like what the player lineup is and your expectations of DM, I can make a final decision. I also need your resume.
I have no idea what any of that means. So I don't know what a player lineup is. I just okay.
Well, a player lineup is broken into two different categories. One, who are the players? And two, what are they playing as? So kind of like, you know, are we having a wizard here? Are we having a paladin? That sort of thing.
And I suppose preferably of those, what subclass are you going as?
Exactly. It would help me to
vastly
decide
change your...
a good idea for what I'd want to play as.
Hmm.
I'm gonna be real. I didn't even know that was a thing.
There's much that you must learn, my young Padawan.
Most of the campaigns I've been in, we've all just shown up and with like one of our campaigns, we showed up and partway through a dungeon realized that we didn't have anyone with any healing spells, apart from my artificer who had his artillerist who had his support. What's it? You can have a ballista, a flamethrower, and then you can have the support module on your homunculus. And I just had him go around giving people temporary hit points because we had no healing.
Your artillerist?
Artificer, artillerist. There's artificer, battlesmith, artillerist, alchemist, and armorer.
We got another shiny, everybody.
4 subclasses of artificer.
It does bring up a question I had of how do classes work in this?
I mean, how I was doing it and how me and my friends do it whenever we play this kind of stuff for more space themed thing was it works the exact same way. It's just whenever you say you're going to use fireball, you're not getting magic from like magic. You're using magic from space magic because space magic is a thing in this. And instead of using a sword, you're using a vibroblade.
Druid.
So it's D&D, but with different flavor text.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay.
And railguns take away AC.
Okay.
Ooh. Like permanently lowers AC.
No, just for the one attack. So like,
for the one attack.
How it works is that when you fire a railgun at something, a railgun might have a -5 to your AC. So when it attacks, you make your AC roll with your AC, and it will take away 5. So let's say you have an AC of like 14. When you're hit with a railgun for that attack that the railgun.
Oh, I see. It less that it takes away, more that it ignores 5.
Yeah, it ignores AC. Yeah,
that's what that was freaked me out there. That's interesting. I like that.
Would recommend
powerful and rare.
I would recommend checking out Spelljammer. I have not looked into it myself, but it is D&D in space, basically. Another option, which we have all the books for already, would be Starfinder. And if we go that route, I've already got a character lined up. Or actually, I might bring back the professor either way.
The professor.
Professor.
Yes, we got the shiny.
Yay, well done.
I think I'm just about cleared out the shinies for this region, at least the ones I've found so far. I think there's like about 3 more species left.
I'll be back.
Oh, is Spelljammer not based on 5e?
I think it's based off of Pathfinder, isn't it?
No, Starfinder is based on Pathfinder.
Oh. I don't know. There's so many finders and stars.
I've heard a few memes and stuff about Spelljammer, but I haven't actually looked into it yet. But it is...
I've heard about it, I haven't looked in yet.
It is better to work with an existing system instead of trying to kind of brute force something. Like, you can absolutely adjust the story to fit what you want, but it works better, in my opinion, to work with something existing and then adjust it. Something similar, that is.
My little pup's evolving. Oh, it's so cute.
Puppy.
Turned into a lunar wolf.
I'm looking at it now, it's literally just adventures in space as unlike any other. So yeah, it seems to be just D&D in space is what Spelljammer is.
I think that's all the things for this area. Let's go ahead and go heal.
Okay, so they did release Spelljammer for 5e. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it received a very cold reception.
Why?
It apparently sucks.
Ah.
Well, I mean, you're not exactly going to find everything as fantastic compared to, like, say, D&D, which has had literal forever to be, I don't know, refined.
Yeah. And even then,
so when people
5e
get those kind of
issues.
high expectations, it's like, yeah.
Like, every system is going to have its issues. Like, for me, I love 5e for the fact that it's easy for new players to get into it. But it definitely, for experienced players that want more of a challenge or something, it sucks. Not really a challenge, but more customization. It sucks. Because of the fact that there's nothing that you can really do to customize your characters that's official. There's options out there for third-party stuff, which is what I tend to play with nowadays, because I've already done most of this stuff in the base game, in the actual game that I have interest in.
Same.
Oh, the cold response is less to do with it sucking and more the fact that new players don't know it's an old IP, and so people assume it's a ripoff of Starfinder.
Oh,
that does make sense. Honestly, when I first heard about Spelljammer, I thought it was just a Starfinder ripoff. You know, Pathfinder finally actually did something. Paizo finally did something unique, and then Wizards came in and was like, and we're just gonna copy that? Though, to be fair, I wasn't too against Wizards on that, because, well, Pathfinder basically just ripped off D&D 3.5. So, I don't really hold that, I didn't really hold that against wizards, but it's good to know that it is different, or that it has existed for a long while. I know for Starfinder, it has the problem that Pathfinder does. For me, like Pathfinder in D&D. Pathfinder has a lot of options for you to customize your character. We could all be playing wizards and have completely different characters. Like night and day different characters. But in 5e, one player playing a wizard, everybody's basically the same. That's just kind of how they developed 5e, which isn't terrible, but it's not great either. Hey there, Jills. I'm doing all right, and yourself? But then you've got things like Pathfinder, where you've got all these options, but for a new player to Pathfinder, good fucking god, there is so much in there.
I like it better for the lore.
I don't really know much of the lore. What I do know, it seems, interesting, just like Faerun and such. They all have their perks, but like the mechanics themselves, there is so much to Pathfinder. At least first edition. I haven't looked at second edition much, but I've heard it's good.
Yeah, people are warming up to second edition, especially now that they got more content out.
I'm definitely interested in Pathfinder second edition, but that's a whole other discussion. It's kind of like you just have so much in Pathfinder, though. I know for me, trying to play it, I'm playing with Kerr, and Kerr knows just about everything on there. And I'm playing with Jaffer, who also knows everything on there, and other people that know everything on there. And I'm just this newbie coming in, and I'm like, can we not level up? I don't want to try and find a feat.
I'm kind of with you on that.
Literally in the Saturday game, every time Jaffer's like, "All right, you guys level up," Kerr is like, "Yes, I get this," and I'm like, "No, didn't we just do that? I don't know what to pick now."
Now that I'm actually looking at it, I think Starfinder will probably has like the most easily like it'll probably work because it says it's got rules regarding spaceships, combat, and FTL stuff. And since it retains all the traditional stuff, I don't have to make any special rules.
I could also
go ahead.
I could also be evil and show you some dark matter, which is sci-fi pack for 5e.
Oh, geez.
I would rather stick with stuff that's, first party in general.
Yeah.
I don't mind second party stuff, so long as it's interesting and doesn't break the game.
Same, but...
Can I join your game, Rygon?
Sure.
Like, you want to bring in another player to the Pokemon game?
Aren't we down one player anyway?
We've got 5 players right now.
No, yeah, that's okay. I understand you're full. Well, not full, but you got enough players.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Could I have you on as a backup just in case we have a player drop?
I will say I already have another backup, but...
He has another backup, so...
Though,
you're my backup.
I'm the backup.
Yeah.
I'm the last resort.
And we can always bring you in as like a secondary character every now and again as well.
Ooh,
like
could I
during side missions and stuff like that.
could I play that Pokemon I sent you?
Which one?
Delta Snorlax?
No, no deltas, I'm afraid.
No. But it's so
Neon,
cool.
I will say, if you pull crap like you pulled in Guild Tales again, I'm cutting you out.
What?
I don't allow evil characters in my games.
I'm
I
not
don't
an evil
allow
character.
I don't allow characters that actively work against the group.
Well, to be fair on that one, that's a rule that I have in the sessions. So that would be vetted ahead of time.
Yeah. Digi may have allowed it, but if I had known, I would have cut that out before you got to the character creation. You know, the actual
What?
making a shape.
I didn't make an evil character.
The story that you have gone with him, I would not have allowed.
In what way?
We literally had like a 4-hour discussion about it. Or, well, not just that, but things that have been
The
risen
actively
up
working
from it.
against the rest of the party thing.
Yeah.
That part was not part of my character story. That was something introduced to it.
Okay, fair. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
though, that is something I don't allow, though. But
Don't worry. He warned me as well about he doesn't allow evil characters.
Yeah, but he's
yeah.
warned me way more than he's warned you.
No, about the same.
He's warned me several times in DM and in voice call as well. Not with the rest of the session.
I was an NPC and could have totally been evil if I wanted to be.
Yeah, so I didn't make an evil character. I made an entire evil race, and my character's the exception.
Yeah, I'm sad I don't get to play Delta Snorlax.
I've looked up Delta Snorlax. It's so pretty.
I
You can always play a
know.
Rygonian Snorlax.
Sure. Is it grass normal, coincidentally?
It is.
That I did, Panth. You want to come join, Panth? You can go ahead and come join Voice and explain that if you want to share that story. Yeah. We've had stuff like that. We've had players like I called them evil characters, but it's more that I don't allow people to work against the party. Whether you want to call your character evil or not, doesn't matter to me. You're not working against the party. Because
Could even be the paladin that has got so much of a stick up his ass, he might as well be called log. You know, preventing the party from being
these
able
so
to do literally
lawful
anything.
good they are evil types.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
they go
it wasn't
full
even
circle.
That. So, back when I owned Mystic Hobby Games here in Utah, Zim was one of my DMs. At the time, I was sitting in and playing at a table that one of my other DMs was running. Her boyfriend was also at the table. He was another one of my DMs and had been running the same campaign because we would run multiple tables of the same campaign at once during the Adventurers League seasons. Well, we reached a point where there's a character who, if you've gotten far enough ahead in the campaign and read far enough ahead in the campaign, it really does benefit the players to let her die rather than save her. However, in character, you don't know that. You see a girl being attacked. That's all you see. The problem is that the boyfriend decided that he was going to get into combat with the other party members and kill the girl, and he justified it he had no justification in character. His only justification was out of character knowledge. And unfortunately, the DM being the girlfriend at the time, they're now married, she felt like she was having to choose between being a good DM and her boyfriend. As a result, we put in a hard, fast rule that A, significant others could not DM for each other at the store. B, if you were caught metagaming at somebody's table, you as a DM were not allowed to play in any games for an entire season. And I also, that was actually the whole entire impetus to institute the DM training program. Between that and some misunderstandings that were happening with Zim at the time, we actually implemented a DM's training program where you sat shotgun for a DM for 3 weeks. You had a DM shotgun for you for 3 weeks. And then we would all get together as administrative staff and discuss whether or not you were able to handle your own table.
Have been serving fish
It was that bad. It imploded spectacularly, and I had to take both of them off of DM duty for an entire season to get their heads straight. It was that bad.
But it's definitely in a box. Just like Mama.
And where was this occurring? Was this in real life, or was this
in real life? I used to see. That's the interesting one, Rygon. I used to own a brick and mortar tabletop game store, whereas Zim used to be one of my DMs.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
In person.
That's how we met.
Very lovely. Very lovely. Sorry to hear that happened to you all, though. That just sounds like a pain in the ass.
But as you can tell, Zim was around when that explosion happened, and as a result, that's why he's going, guys, let's not have anybody that actively works against the party. Pretty please. He got to see the fallout from that. It was not pretty.
Honestly, I think that should be a DM rule, just 101, period. Because if you have party members that are working against each other, then you're not having a party.
Well, yeah. And one of the things that, I mean, like, for example, the paladin with the stick up his butt. That's an archetype that's really easy to play, but as a DM, it's an easy enough one to manage. As my husband, who plays paladin in the other room, is peanut gallery. But you know, when we start dealing with, but my goal is completely counterintuitive to the other players' goals, you know, we should be catching those that early as DMs. We really should be. But we also never know when somebody's going to change their backstory.
Yeah.
We will be.
Neon did not change his backstory. The incidents that have been going on with the like Neon's not at fault here. I will say that. This whole situation was the DM basically being, you know, this sounds fun.
Yeah.
It was not fun.
I probably wouldn't punish the player too much on that one, since it was a DM call ultimately.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one's one that you're like, okay, I know the DM did this. This is not copacetic. We good. And you know, one of the things you guys will learn about me the more you're around me is that I'm generally a pretty laid back person. But oh my god, that was one of the few times that my volunteers got to see me absolutely spitting nails. Pissed.
She is very scary when she's angry.
Things are looking cold.
I'm
on the
generally a
that
nice
too.
person,
You might
but
want to
I
wear
am
a
very,
second
very
pair of
scary if you
shoes.
piss me off.
I suppose skis
And
are
I'm
technically
just
a
about
second
banned
pair
those
of
two
shoes,
from the store.
What they lack in terms of providing warmth, they make up for.
To be fair, you're kinder than me. I probably would have.
Play that music.
To be honest, we had only a few bannable offenses at the store. Paramount among them was threatening us with legal action over something stupid. That happened. It was dumb. It earned somebody a lifetime ban.
That's
And
disappointing that has to be avoided.
yeah. No, there are a lot of things I loved about owning my game store, but there are also several things I do not miss.
I don't doubt it at all.
The stress. It is one of the hardest industries to make your living in. It makes being an artist look like a cakewalk. It's the hardest industry I have ever worked in. My job at the store was director of organized play. I was over all organized play. D&D, Magic, Warhammer 40k, War Machine, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. I was in charge of it all and had judgeships for 90% of it.
Are expensive, and education is priceless.
I don't miss the stress. And I definitely don't miss 2 or 3 weekends back to back releases every quarter. Like, everybody would schedule their releases on the same 3 weekends, and it was so stupid.
Oh no.
Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, they were Force of Will, Y Schwartz.
Which makes sense from a business perspective because, quarter earnings and all that.
Right, but you know what? There are 3 months in a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to have them all on my birthday weekend in October.
Didn't you know that all of those companies were specific? They conspired to work against you.
Oh, of course. Every single time.
Like, all right, how can we mess up? Oh, she's got plans on this day. Okay, everybody, go, go, go.
Yeah, I didn't have plans. I specifically would never make plans on pre-release weekends because they would never happen. I would be working 60, 80-hour weeks those weeks.
But it's also great training.
Well, you've told us some bad stuff. What is a favorite memory of yours?
Oh gosh, well, one was the fact that we had 3 or 4 couples meet, date, and get married at the store. And as owners, we got invited to most of their weddings.
Aww.
And that was as a female gamer who has very often had to deal with the gatekeepy boys club attitudes of tabletop gaming. That was always really wonderful for me to see a couple kind of grow together in gaming and find things in common outside of gaming, because they would always ask me, being married to another gamer. Those were always really good times. My Pokemon community. Zim will tell you, I babied my Pokemon community. They were just the best.
You do? What about cute little Vaporeons?
Oh, of course they're little Vaporeons. Don't you know I'm an Eevee fangirl?
Yay! I like you already.
I mean, come on. Eevee's my number 2. My number 1 is Dragonair, but Eevee is a very close second.
I'll take it.
But to the point where my Pokemon kids have stayed in touch after the store has closed. I got invited to several of their graduations. I got announcements when I had a couple of them message me saying that they were going off to this college or they got into this college that they were so excited about. So my Pokemon kids were kind of like my kids. they all have a special part in my heart, and they all still check in with me. Actually, if you see the writer Silica on my streams, that's one of my Pokemon kids.
Aww.
I loved the Pokemon kids. I loved the Weiss community. The Weiss community was amazing. Our Magic players weren't bad. They were, I mean, Magic communities can go one of two ways. They can be really, really wholesome or really, really toxic, and ours was really wholesome.
Yeah.
Our Yu-Gi-Oh players, they were really, really toxic.
Weren't they the ones that got banned at one point?
Yeah, the last 3 weeks before the store closed, I decided to tell them all go fuck themselves, and they were no longer allowed in the store, and I was no longer running events for it. You don't change decks in the middle of a tournament.
That kind of toxic?
That kind of toxic.
Oh, come on.
You don't get, you go, I tell you, you've got 15 minutes till round is over. Okay, we're going to run down and get a sandwich. 30 minutes later, you don't get mad at me when round has started and you've been disqualified because you weren't in your seat. That kind of toxic. So I eventually, and it took a lot of button pushing. I'm gonna tell you, I put up with them for 3.5 years before I finally said enough was enough with them. It takes a lot to get on my bad side.
Yeah, that is not the toxic I was expecting. I was expecting them fighting over rules.
Oh gosh, no. No, the rules lawyers, those were my Magic players, and my Weiss players. But there was a good reason for the Weiss players being rules lawyers. It was translated into English from Japanese, and the translation was not always the best.
Oh, I get you.
It was still in the first few years of the game actually being brought stateside. So, luckily, my primary judge for it was multilingual, including Japanese. And he and I would just double check against the Japanese versus the fan translation versus the official translation to figure out which one we needed to go with. He still wishes I would open another store. But no, the rules lawyers, we didn't really have a problem with them in many places. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is always rules lawyery. I mean, it's just part and parcel of the whole community.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you have an terminal format. You don't ever rotate cards. You're going to have arguments over how cards interact. It's just part of the whole entire deal.
Not to interrupt too much, I've gotten a short list of followers that I just want to give a quick shout out. Thank you for the follows. Soenksen20, Koya 200, and Loneliness. Thank you all so much for the follows. All right, go ahead and continue.
I am actually going to drop out of the call. I shall continue. Well, I'll probably look for a bit in stream, but I will see everyone later.
Kurama, are you still there, by the way?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
All right.
Pay attention. These are things to avoid.
Have you ever own your own game shop?
I was about to say, I have nothing to do with game shops. I work for the companies that make the games.
Yeah. Most of my reps were great. I just players.
And then there was that Zim guy. He was just terrible.
And then there was the Zim guy.
But he got
poor guy who didn't know how to
use.
Didn't know he should use a DM screen so he could fudge his rolls and not.
You didn't know about the DM screen?
No, I mean, I knew they existed, but I never understood the point of them until that time. Other players I'd played with in the past were, you know, they had played with me. They knew my luck. They knew how things would go. So it's like, okay, we just know we're in for a rough time, but it's okay. And yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I gave him a bunch of Adventurers League veterans who knew that you're not supposed to have a TPK in AL unless you're being really stupid.
I didn't
and
quite
there
get
was
to a
some-
TPK.
No, but it was close. It was real close. So it was one of those things that they were like, and I'm sitting here going, why is he doing this? He's an experienced DM. And after we talked, it was like, oh.
I am an experienced DM, just didn't know about that.
Why do you think one of the first things I asked Essler in working for the table was, can I please have a spot hidden that I can do my stuff in? Because you can't hide shit over on Tabletop Simulator very easily.
Yeah, it's a little harder.
Also, yes, Henry, the Marten vids are back. The Marten bot has been updated. Had to be completely rewritten from the ground up, but it is back.
Yeah,
Now
I
I'm-
need to get my cat video bot back restocked. I've only got like 30 videos in it.
I need to get a Vaporeon video, yeah.
How was the Warhammer community?
Our Warhammer community was kind of small, to be honest.
Because you have to be
it's an
rich.
expensive hobby. Yeah.
Well, it's not that. It's that game stores in Salt Lake City are as common as 7-Elevens.
Oh, I see. So the
And
population
they
is more
had
disseminated.
just opened a Warhammer store.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
So the game store to population ratio, while we do have a higher gamers per capita, the ratio to population was stretching the bounds of the waistband, so to speak. It gets to the point where game stores will open and there'll be a glut of them, and then it'll collapse down to about 5 or 6, like all at once. Everybody will fold.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but I want to answer Senri's question. As far as I'm aware right now, only Rygon and I are streaming. However, there are, and for those over in Rygon's chat, I'm putting all these links in my chat. Panth is also a streamer, as is Kurama, who has not sent a message. So Kurama, please send a message in my chat so I can just at you.
Sorry, Henry, I'm not quite certain who was a streamer in here other than Zim and Panthanera. That is how you say that, right?
Panthanea.
Panthanea. I'll try to remember that.
Or just Panth.
Panth, thank you.
Тебе много не будет? Смотрите, какой кусок огромный.
But yeah, other
Тебе
than
будет
Panth,
много?
since you had mentioned
Скажи
that
мне.
you streamed earlier in the conversation.
Вкусно, да? Бабушка делала.
Yeah, I went from a game store owner to an artist and streamer.
_Oil wants
take
the
it.
private tuition
Oh my God,
rooms
what
to
is
be
that?
named
Tim
Wise
Martin
Raven
have?
Tutoring.
Смотрите, какой кусок огромный. Тебе не
No,
будет
it-
много?
Oh,
Скажи
apparently
мне.
my bot's still
Too
down.
thick to be a pizza.
Вкусно, да? Бабушка делала.
Oh no, that's a scone. That's a proper
Oh.
scone.
That Martin's so adorable. I love it.
Nom, 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 nom.
It's like a ferret cuter.
And they can do parkour.
Floof noodle.
Thank
you, Senri.
And it looks like Senri, or Kurama, you also have a new follower.
Hey!
I'm gonna apologize in advance for the Eve content.
Joke.
I'll shout you out here in a second, Panth.
It's all good.
Why is Raven tutoring?
Also because my bot is apparently down for my usual shout out, so I'm having to use the Twitch shout out, and it only allows 1 a minute.
That's fair. Kurama, you are a braver soul than I. I started out my streaming journey right after the game store closed, doing Eve. And
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, some real choice individuals decided that it was in their duty to take over high sec and dictate what ships could be in high sec, and therefore they attacked me as I was ferrying my stuff from the starting zone to where my buddy had set up our little guild.
Yeah. EVE
And then
Online. Go ahead.
not only did they steal my stuff, they wrote an entire blog post crucifying me for being a new player.
Oh,
didn't
you're
stream
talking
again
about
for-
Code.
Yes, Code.
Yeah, they're so for some backstory, I when I first started the game, I never knew about Code because I got a mail from someone being like, "Hey, you want to come out to Nullsec and be part of the Nullsec empires?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." And then I've never been in really high sec. 5 years in, I started going around high sec, and then I learned about Code, and then went back to Nullsec, and then Code. Apparently, one of our people was caught in high sec illegally mining, and so Code was like, "Hey, listen, we are Code. We are the true saviors of high sec. You will kick this person from your alliance for disrespecting the honor of a Code agent, or else we will, write your alliance name down with a red pen." Keep in mind, we were at first we were like, "Oh no, Code is gonna get after us," and then we figured out who Code actually were, and we were like, "Wait a minute, what?" Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even get that. I didn't even get that courtesy. They just decided that they were going to make an example of me, who was a new player.
Yeah, they do that.
They just sound like assholes and bullies, honestly.
They are.
Yeah, people who got too high for their britches in a game that, well, it's just a game. Come on, people.
And
Yep.
their newest iteration, Safety, is now like they've genuinely tried to work on their image of we're not like that's not who we are anymore. Like a lot of that old guard has either left the game or has been permabanned.
I wonder why.
That would explain why he hasn't posted on that blog since 2014.
Yeah, and now it's like hey, we're just here to do high sec PvP, and it's the whole like, sending mails like that's just a meme, like that's just a joke. Don't take it seriously. We're just here to go and blow people up. Like we're indiscriminate. We're not killing you because you're a new player. We're killing you because we just like to kill stuff.
Yeah, and I'm betting they don't make a big deal of it online anymore.
Oh, they don't. Like not nearly as much. Like it's now no longer a big deal at all. It's like, hey, congratulations, we got a kill. Like they don't even really send mails anymore.
Yeah, it was that blog post that I didn't stream again for almost 4 years.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And when I did stream again, I did it behind a VTuber because they also plastered a screenshot of my stream with my face.
Oh
yeah, no, that there was one thing where there was a streamer named Crass Kitty, and so internet space politics can get almost as bad as real politics.
Yes.
In terms of how people react. Apparently and I don't know if you know who Goonswarm is, but Goonswarm had a very messed up past of they would do horrible things to people because of in-game reasons. Like they outed one of their enemies, one of the leaders of the enemy groups, for being gay. They've doxed and like done all sorts of kinds of bad stuff to people.
They were big in the swatting community too.
Oh yeah, no, it makes total sense. And all those different people, what they ended up doing was there was a streamer, Crass Kitty, and they apparently found out that her grandfather had died, and basically spent hours essentially harassing her about her dead grandfather. And it was really, really bad, to the point where like the leader of Goonswarm at that time basically had to do this massive apology and like just go full ham on trying to make it up to her and kicking all those members that did that.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
remember
bad.
because she ended up in the hospital after a suicide attempt because of it.
And Goonswarm has been trying to fix their image ever since.
I want to fix her image, they should disband.
You see, you would think that that's what they would do, but they can't because they are a 50,000 man alliance.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah, the
And
way
it's kind of
the way they handle it in game is complicated.
it's very complicated.
I know very little about Eve myself, but I will say that, yeah, that's really not something that can be done. It's it's basically the same as a actual company going under in real life.
Usually to disband, there's a vote. And if there's not enough votes to carry the disband, the group doesn't get disbanded.
I don't know. It sounds like people are just making it more complicated than it really is.
No,
Quit.
that's actually hardwired in the group.
It's
Yeah,
hardwired in the game. Yeah.
Oh, it's hardwired in the game. Okay.
Yeah, and there have been ways to get away around that. What a lot of alliances will do is they'll put like alt corps in so that the alliance executor has the majority vote holding no matter what, so that they could essentially do that just at the drop of a hat. Or when they'll quote unquote disband, they'll just kick all the corps. The executor will, and then disband the alliance. They chose not to disband. I think what they did after the whole thing with Crass Kitty is they basically decided we're going to hold another quote unquote cultural revolution, which is basically we're going to take all the toxic people and just kick them out. And they went on a good year or two long basically crusade against goons themselves to try and find all those toxic people and either bullying them out of the organization or just outright kick them.
I guess it's something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something. And then, of course, this most recent quote-unquote thing, the leader, which there was an entire 1.5 year long war that was fought to try to get him out of leadership. He finally just quit because he was getting harassed and bullied because he handled things very poorly in the organization. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. It's why I don't play Eve on stream anymore. I hardly play it at all anymore. And instead, if I'm going to play an MMO on stream, it's probably Final Fantasy because, holy crap, that one's a lot less toxic.
Oh, yeah.
I will disagree.
And don't say that to Zem.
I will beg to disagree with you on that. My attempt to return to it very recently had a couple of people come in and they outright said their goal was to make me quit playing.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah, that's pretty rude.
Because, my opinion was invalid because I haven't reached Heaven's Ward or whatever it is, the first expansion yet.
I mean, I saw a couple of people who were really excited to see you play and get to Heaven's Word, but I didn't really. It may have been when I was offline.
I would like to still get there. Unfortunately, Kerr has not been up for playing with me, so
Yeah,
it's kind of
my
been one of
sub's
those. It's one of those. Well, I've literally wasted the $15 subscription this month.
I'm sorry, honey.
Yeah.
That is one thing that I will hold against both WoW and Final Fantasy is their subscription. It's an archaic thing that should not exist. Like
People
Guild
keep paying
Wars,
it.
I know they do, but doesn't mean that it should. Guild Wars 2 manages to do just fine. You've got Elder Scrolls Online that has both a paid option and a free option, which I don't care for Elder Scrolls Online, but I can give them props on that at least. Granted, their free option could be a little less restrictive. The crafting bag
Yeah.
should be free to everybody. It should not be a paid exclusive. But that's beside the point. Like if they literally just changed that one thing and made the crafting bag free for everybody, I would be a-okay with how they've got it otherwise.
See, and the funny thing is that Final Fantasy, commenting on what Blue's saying here, Final Fantasy 14 makes enough in microtransactions for other things that they should not have to charge a monthly subscription fee.
Yeah, they don't need it.
You know, they literally got a move in this game that's called Dirty Snow, and it's a yellow snowball that's thrown at you.
Oh, God.
Ew!
Yeah.
I can't even say anything because Eve has a $22 subscription cost every month.
Yeah, but it is optional.
In Grim Dawn, there's a special pants called Soiled Pants, and it gives you the ability to throw poop that explodes into poison gas.
Oh no!
Yikes!
It's horrible.
But yeah, that's for me. It's like when games have those subscriptions, it is literally forcing me to play the game, or else I'm wasting money.
Yep. Say that like buying a game outright and then not playing it isn't wasting money too.
You make a fair point, but at least with other games, I can play them anytime I want after buying them and don't have to. I have the option to. Whereas with Final Fantasy, I have to buy the game and pay to play it.
Yeah, and if there wasn't a sub, I'd have been online all month to run you through stuff, Zim.
Well,
that's why I'm trying to become an Eve partner.
That was something that Kerr guilted me into trying Final Fantasy again, and I was willing to give it one last shot. And he hasn't played with me. And so now I've got this sub that this money that I've wasted. And especially with my income being only Twitch, that hits especially hard.
Yeah.
Like this whole stream, aside from ad rev, I think I have made $2.58. Because I've got one resub and the money? 8 bits that Wostine gave me.
Yeah, normally Tochime would have been in here to make it rain.
He doesn't. He makes it rain for the tabletop games, and even then, not all of them. He does it every now and then for the others, but he focuses. Like he makes sure that my rent is taken care of, and I've made sure that he's aware that that is what Kerr's games are for.
See, in Syria, I'd be cool with that one.
I agree.
I would be fine as long as it didn't continue to count down when I'm offline, because a girl gotta sleep.
I'm still like that would be a better model than what they currently have. I'm still not 100% on board with it, but it's better than what they have right now.
I'd get a heck of a lot more playtime out of my $15 for that, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's weird games like Wizardry 101 where you can either buy it piece by piece or you get a subscription and bypass all that.
Wizard 101 still a thing?
It is, and it's still popular.
Did you not hear the recent drama about it?
No, I thought that game was dead.
Very recently, like the last week or two, one of the devs apparently, we still don't know what happened, but it seems like that one of the former devs or current dev or something went on a rampage with the in-game notifications with all sorts of different things that they were spamming out to people, players. Like, and some of them were kind of funny. Like, oh no, the wizard police are on my tail. I gotta run. But there were also others where it's like, just fuck my boss. And there was one where it was, well, my boss should have given me that raise then, shouldn't he?
Wow.
One came through something along the lines of, the CEO would like to see you in his office now, and people are pretty sure that came from the person that got access to it. Nobody really knows what happened, because Wizards 101, the developers have just completely clammed up on it. They're not saying anything about what happened there. It's just...
There was probably a gag order from HR.
Probably.
Yeah, let's be honest.
It's a kid's game that there were some rather inappropriate things for kids that were being said. Not outright terrible, but, general things that your parents wouldn't want you to hear. Like simple swearing. But it was still, it was hilarious. A lot of people are thinking it was some kind of marketing tactic that kind of, flopped. But yeah, Wizards 101 is very much still a thing. I do know the only way they were able to stop this whole thing was they had to actually shut down the servers for a while.
That's not a marketing thing, then. That's just a guy who got fed up and he wanted to, or he has a last day and he wanted to have fun before he left the job.
R/nuclear revenge.
Okay, but that's like that's career like I work in the game industry, and that's just straight up career suicide is what that is.
Like, if they can figure out who did it.
It is very easy to figure out who did that.
From what I have heard, people that have looked into this, because, you got your hackers that are like, okay, what the hell happened here? I want to know more. And so they hacked into the servers and stuff, and they're like, oh, there is web root access.
Yeah, there's definitely web root access. Like, someone must have either someone directly went to the server room and actually did it manually, because if they didn't do that, then because all devs, no matter what game, they have a dev account that links them and basically allows them to access the game files and access the servers. So if they were doing that and they had this special admin permission in order to do that kind of stuff, they had to be using either a dev account or they went to the actual physical server and input it there. So
yeah, the same guy who did all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when there was drama at the companies that I worked at, it was on the level of hey, this person, it was within 24 hours. We knew what happened. We knew who did it, and they were quietly taken out back.
From what I've heard about this, though, is that they haven't really updated their infrastructure with modern practices. They're still running on the same basic infrastructure that they did way back when they first launched. And of course, it was all web-based back then. So as far as the internet is aware, they still have no idea who actually did this. Wizards 101, it should be easy for them to figure it out, but apparently it is not.
They could have also have figured it out, caught the guy, and are quietly handling it behind the scenes.
Possibly. That'd be my guess.
The thing is that my dad has a PhD with us from Stanford for web dev, and he did a lot of security work as part of that. One of the things that can be done so fast that the hackers aren't going to be able to find what they want to find is to delete that evidence from public servers, from public-facing servers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard. So what may have happened is that the webs are like, oh, we don't know who did it, while the company's like, we know exactly who did it. We're just not letting you all find out.
That's fair. Hello there, Satyr, and I'm doing very well, Hayden. Oh, thank you for bringing the niceness back. I hope you're having yourself a wonderful day.
I was about to say game companies, especially like any moderately big game companies, they can be ruthless.
Oh, yes.
I've heard horror stories from people at Blizzard. It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah, my dad used to do, before he retired, he was primarily doing, the name just escaped me. I'll think of it. Anyway, he was doing he was doing integration for a popular e-commerce platform all over the world. And yeah, to tell you that the corporate tech world is absolutely no joke is 100% not a joke.
I can believe it. Also, big shout out to Blue Gilmon. Thank you so much for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gift subs. Thank you so much, man. That's really appreciated. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream and the content, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. That's awesome. Thank you.
That's what it was, Salesforce.
Oh yeah, I know Salesforce. Ugh. Don't forget
I think they tried to get my mom.
You what?
I think they tried to get my mom at one point to become one of their employees.
Well, that didn't work for Salesforce directly. He just had all of his Salesforce certifications and was actually working on integration for all of these Fortune 500 multi-billion-dollar companies.
I've had to work with Salesforce before.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
It's not integrate nicely.
And then everybody wants their own little special spin on it to hide the fact that it's Salesforce. And they just do it terribly and don't listen to their employees at all about, oh God, this is horrible. Why are you forcing us to use this?
Oh, that's why my dad pulled down 6 figures a year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyways, Wizards 101 still a thing.
Yeah, it's like Neopets. It just won't die.
Funny thing about Neopets, they're actually finally developing an app version.
Oh, I thought
Are
you
you
were
kidding
going to
me?
say they're
Finally?
finally going to die. I was like, what?
No. They were testing it out by making some game apps that integrate with the online platform, ways that you could earn neocoins. And they've got a lot of the kinks worked out and are now going to be trying to migrate it to an app platform.
All right.
I am an old school Neopet player.
I wonder if an old blast from the past is still around. Anybody remember Gaia Online?
It is still around.
Oh my God! Next, you're gonna tell me that Webkins is still a thing.
Yes.
Oh God.
Now, is the Webkins platform any good? No. Is Gaia anywhere as populated as it used to be? No. But there you are.
Gaia is still a thing?
Gaia is still a thing. Everybody's been begging for them to make it a web app. The best we've been able to get is a web-friendly version of the website, a mobile-friendly.
And then there are websites that were strangely popular but were canceled anyway, like Club Penguin.
Oh, I think they've already
Yeah.
come up with a new one for that one.
Oh.
Like fan made stuff, I mean.
Oh.
Oh, thank you, May. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream too. Well, thank you so much. And hello.
I gotta quickly run and take a bio.
Why is this one AC kicking my ass?
Type advantage?
No, it's just kicking my ass. It's not even type advantage stuff. It just has a really powerful attack, I guess.
Maybe it's perfect.
I mean, that's a realistic possibility.
Actually, you might be right. Let me check. Like, the not very effective, like, there's only like a 2-level difference between it and my Serb. Both are electric types, and its quad volt still took out half my Serb's health.
Yeah.
That's just a standard. Yeah.
Back to the original topic. I just am very much on the stop with the subscriptions on video games.
Here, here.
Amen.
At the least, if you are going to do one, at the very absolute least, don't charge us to buy the game.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's that's the biggest reason why I have such an issue with subscriptions, is the fact that, okay, I have to buy it, and now if I don't pay for the subscription, that money I spent, that $60 or whatever I spent on it, poof.
Yep.
I could do no
Serio,
other.
they just re-released that.
Oil wants that dormitory to be named Feather Roost Dorms.
I think the thing I have the biggest issue with nowadays are just the predatory gambling practices that are microtransactions,
Same.
though.
Amen.
You know, especially games that target small kids that, you know, don't have the
Yeah.
development to understand that this is gambling.
Roblox.
I'm gonna be honest. I found myself very susceptible to those myself. Like,
Oh yeah, we all do. They're literally directed against human psychology. It's not a thing against you or anybody else. They're literally meant to work against human nature.
yeah.
I mean, if you think about it from a tabletop perspective, it's the same as buying a pack of Magic. It's the exact same psychology. And with the exact same dopamine hit.
Yep. Like, I could bet you, if I introduce a gambling mechanic into my poker roll thing in some form or another, it would get used. I can almost guarantee you it would.
Yeah.
Yep.
The best part is, like, you can tell that they take a lot of their lessons from actual casinos. Like, for example, very few of them let you buy it with your actual money. They'll usually convert your money into, like, some sort of imaginary dollar first,
And why do you think they do that?
so that you disassociate that fake money with real money.
Exactly. It's easier to spend the fake money than it is real money. Same thing with other elements, such as really making a big deal of a win, no matter how small, while kind of brushing aside the losses. Like, they don't really make a point to address your losses. It's just all the bells and whistles are reserved for the wins.
Oh, we're sorry you lost that one, but if you try again, you'll get a win guaranteed next time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a little.
We'll guarantee you. We'll guarantee you a 5-star item as long as you spend enough money to get 10 pulls.
Mm-hmm. Which I guess that's at least a little bit better than some of the other things I've seen. Not the best, but still a little bit better.
Comics.
Hello, Blue.
I actually have a story that I want to tell in
Oh.
voice rather than through chat. So I had a friend who was at an arcade and they were playing the Stack'em game. And they were really close to winning. Then one of the employees from the arcade came up, tapped them on the shoulder, and made the mess up. And like, oh well, guess you gotta try again.
Yep.
Now that's just dick
Actually,
move.
they're actually told by management to do that.
Yeah.
Those prizes are expensive.
And maybe
Yep.
they shouldn't make them so expensive.
And people don't dump their money into it.
Yeah, my favorite.
Also,
Yeah,
real quick, Wostein, I have gone ahead and I have gone ahead and purchased and put in a owl roost for you in here, since you wanted renamed to Featherbrew Storms. Thought you'd appreciate it.
Curse your noise suppression for hiding my squeaks.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Yeah, my big issue with like a lot of these machines, especially where I live, where they're very poorly looked into, is that they're not fair. Like the claw machines where I live have a thing where they'll only work part of the time.
Great.
Like, yeah, it's they don't tell you that. They don't have to tell you that. And my favorite are like, the stacking things. No one needs to go over and punch you, like touch you on the shoulder, because the machine itself cheats, and some of the machines have been known to just flat out not like be literally unwinnable.
Yep.
But by cheating, I mean everything works by the pattern of again and again and again and again. Like when you press the button, that's where it stops. And the last one will make it go several steps before it stops. Meaning you're never going to win it.
Yeah, there's so many things that really need to be addressed across the entire gaming industry and otherwise.
Unfortunately, like they had a while to deal with it. I don't think they want to.
Well, it could be that they're actually within the boundaries of law, though. I mean, so long as the machine has a certain win rate, it doesn't matter how much, if you set it any higher or not.
Technically, right now, they are all within the bounds of law. But that's because the law hasn't caught up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because a lot of the places with the machines, for example, that like have stuffed bears, for example, the reason they're allowed to have the machine just not work on purpose is because they're bears, it's not gambling. Therefore, they are under no obligation to offer you a fair chance to win. Or even a chance. They could literally make it unwinnable.
Yeah, Anyways. Back to Kurama. Are you back yet?
Yeah, we need to hear more about your hot werewolf X Kitsune universe in space.
Yeah, we got Panth here. We're gonna drag Panth into a game. We got Rygon here to hear more about it. Though I'm guessing that I'm guessing that it blah 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 blah. Bring over. Oh, if we do go with Spelljammer, What are the classes like? Because it sounds like you're pretty familiar with it, Panth.
Oh, Spelljammer.
Yeah, for the most part. I haven't touched a lot of the 5e Spelljammer. My experience with Spelljammer is original 2nd edition Spelljammer.
Ah.
So probably a little closer to what we see in Starfinder.
Starfinder,
Because
I know.
2e was still skill list D&D. And Thaco.
Oh God, Thaco. And now
They say no one
having...
understands.
Thaco doesn't understand Thaco.
Yeah, Thaco doesn't need. Math nerds don't understand Thaco.
Yeah, they say no one understands Thaco, even to this day.
I can make my way around it because I first learned to play D&D with 2nd ed, but I would rather not.
Sirio? I'm not going to even address that. Never mind. Carry on, Sirio.
Nobody
I know...
wants to do reverse math, Sirio. Nobody wants to do it.
I know...
Remember, an AC of -10 is a tank.
Yeah. You spend several years trying. Okay, you're messing with us. Got it. Cool. I don't have to ban you.
Anyway, Spelljammer is almost literally D&D in space.
Okay.
Let's take the Forgotten Realms, fast forward through the space age, and get them out in the stars.
So basically, Starfinder.
Spelljammer. Kinda, yeah. I mean, it has its own flavor. You gotta remember, Pathfinder and by extension Starfinder came about because D&D 4th edition was bullshit.
We don't talk about it. It does not exist. There's just it went 3.5 and then 5th.
Yep.
Yeah.
3.5 and then 5th edition.
What's 4th edition?
We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
No one talks
We
about it.
don't talk about 4th ed. No.
And Starfinder was a stealth test kit for Pathfinder 2.
Yeah. Well, and it was also Starfinder was also a bunch of Spelljammer nerds wanting Spelljammer in 3.5, which they never got.
I will say, for Starfinder, I did not care for the classes. I always felt that the classes themselves were weird and also kind of limiting, while also being rather... It's hard to place it, but like the spellcasters, spellcasting in Starfinder was terrible. And then you had, I know I played an engineer for over a year. I technically played a modified version of it where, with the professor, he, instead of a drone pet, he had an actual animal companion, which he had biomechanically added on to, augmented. Later on, he had several different varieties and basically was a Pokemon professor. Each one had their own type of setup. One was
Very nice.
Sonic, another was fire, and then the main one that he had was
Sonic.
electric.
Okay.
So Spelljammer, at least in 5th edition, they've kind of treated it less like Spelljammer in 2nd edition, which was D&D in space. But more a case of Spelljammer takes place in the astral plane. So
Oh.
it's like it's a little different. So you've got elemental plane of fire and all of that, but you're now in the astral plane. So it's a little different in its approach, but very much still magic in its in all of its trappings. It's it's 5th ed. You're just in the astral plane instead of the material.
Okay, I get you.
I like astral things.
So you've got lots of new creatures. You've got some new spells, some new magic items. You've got new backgrounds for races, as well as new races entirely.
I'm strictly an anti-camera kind of guy. My philosophy
And it looks like they
is, I
added
can't
something
see
called
you,
Wild
you can't
Space,
see me. So I like to keep things
which
as low tech as possible.
I haven't actually ever heard
I'd
of
recommend
before.
strategically placed strings attached to some bells. You hear a ring?
So
You got
that's new
yourself a
content
visitor.
there.
Of course, sometimes it's the doorbell, and you really
I
do have a
know
visitor.
I
If you want to get real crafty, just leave
I mean, if we're
rings
going
in
for
the yard.
something in
No one
space,
suspects a rake
we'll
in the
probably
yard.
wind up with
But you'll hear the
going
sucker
with
when he steps on
Starfinder.
one and takes a handle to the
It just,
If you want true space, that's probably the better bet.
yeah. It definitely, we need a we need a Starfinder 1.5 or just 2nd edition, because it's got more issues than it's got that it actually works.
Considering the speed at which Paizo moves, we might see it in a decade.
Yeah. I know there is a complete Star Wars adaptation of 5e into, Star Wars sci-fi.
Yeah.
Don't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Don't?
Wow.
Oh, it's bad. It's really bad.
Oh, thank
Really?
God I dodged that bullet. I was going to run it as my D&D sci-fi game.
Yeah.
I just got back what I meant.
I was kind of looking at that. I was like, ooh, this seems interesting.
It lacks... Mechanically, it does not work. Mechanics are clunky at best.
I will say one thing for Starfinder is that literally every freaking spell in the game or in Pathfinder that you could want to do, there's a grenade or there's a equipment item or a gun or what have you that does it. I literally had Pokeballs, Pokeball grenades that would, spawn out summoning. They basically cast summon monster. There was even a polymorph poison.
Okay.
Janitor needed to unblock toilets.
In Starfinder. But it kind of falls into, I feel like, the problem that Starfinder, it kind of falls into that problem that I feel Pathfinder has of just too much.
Everything insane. You have yourself a wonderful night. And you have a good night as well, Senri. For Neon, I am sorry to hear that, but at least when it comes to DMing stuff, I'm afraid that is something you're gonna have to kind of get some experience with and learn from. It's not easy, and yeah, demotivation can happen easily, but you got to kind of roll with the punches if you want to be a good DM. You just have to.
Yeah.
Also,
that's just what working with people in general.
as a word of advice, do not run a homebrew as your first campaign.
Agreed.
Do one
Running
shot.
a preset module that's one shot, or heck, even something like friggin' Curse of Strahd. That's a multi. That's got the beginning, middle, end. It's got all the things you need in order to run it. Gives you an opportunity to understand your own DMing style. And without that pressure of what am I going to come up with next?
Yeah.
Because that pressure will kill you on your first campaign. I speak from experience.
It's why I have been telling you to stop pushing so much. Again, not every monster, because so Neon is looking, or right now he is going to be running one of our tabletop games, and he's taking over for another DM that was running a very basic homebrew campaign, which, if you keep a homebrew campaign super basic, it's not bad. But you are definitely putting a lot more into it than you're gonna burn yourself out. Not every monster needs to have an icon that's unique to it. Not every encounter needs to have a map.
I mean, it's not like this is your job.
Yeah. Yeah, I do share some incentive with you, but yeah, relax. And
Dude, there's an old saying we used to have at the store. It's a game. It's supposed to be fun. The minute it's not fun, you're doing something wrong.
Speaking of incentives, and hey, where's my money?
Right.
Cash breaks mobile. No, you're fine. I just wanted to say that. Who doesn't want to be like a 1920s gangster?
I still gotta send me a message on Telegram reminding me to do that, please. I'll get it to you after stream tonight.
Sure, I'll send it to you if I can remember it.
We'll send it right now.
Oh, I don't want to.
See, my only rebuttal to that is that Eve is technically a game. Whether or not it's fun,
Yeah.
If you stop having fun with it, you shouldn't be playing it.
Yep. And that's why I stopped.
If you are having, like, if you are legitimately having fun with it, then great, keep going. I mean, I know that I enjoyed going in and mining in Eve. It was more of a side project for me. Like, I enjoyed just having my ship mining an asteroid field or something and just popping in every now and then to check if my hull was filled. I didn't care for the fact that I could randomly be attacked by other players at any given point, but that was still something that I did enjoy about Eve. But I would literally be playing Minecraft while just having Eve in the background.
See, but to me, that's like almost like a non-game. Like, I don't know, why play an idle simulation?
I can
games
definitely
be more like, I don't know, upfront with their gameplay.
I can definitely understand and agree with that. It's just, for me, I found it fun.
That's fair. Well, as long as you did. That's just, at least for me personally, that's not something I find too fun. I got to be more engaged in that.
I used to, while I was mining, do the science research tasks where you're identifying cancer cells, which actually, there were a couple of others as well, but it actually was data mined to improve AI working in those fields.
Oh,
Yeah, the citizen
okay.
science stuff, that was actually pretty fun. I used to do that. But then it was just like, oh. But yeah, no, I did enjoy that. For me, Eve became more of a job after. It's just like, oh hey, we're gonna go have this fight because I was in the big null blocks, and then next thing I know, it's a 12-hour fight, and I played enough Eve for a good 3 lifetimes. No, I'm still playing.
Thanks for the question, Gyro. I find that
After a 1.5-year long hell war to try to rid the galaxy of goons and then ultimately losing, and then having my leaders be like, well, we didn't really lose. It's like, okay, but we didn't win. It's like, no, we...
Pirate victory?
It wasn't even a victory. Like, our victory conditions were we rid the game of goons, and we didn't do that. Or no, we kill all goon keep stars and completely liberate Delve. We didn't do that. We got close, but we didn't meet our goals. And it ended with a one side went home, one side survived, and the other side got bored and went home.
That's
Hello there, Seaban.
kind of how battles in Eve often go.
Yeah.
Oh. The battles take so long, from what I recall.
Well, that's the battles. Some of the big battles I was in, it was like the biggest battle I think I was in during that war broke a Guinness World Record, and it was like it lasted a full 24 hours.
Yeah, I heard about that.
But it was like 24 hours of constant action to where we had to people were. All I'm gonna say is I went to that battle in the morning, left it, went to work for 8 hours, got back home, ate dinner, got back online. The battle was still going on.
Did you survive?
The first one I did.
Okay.
The second one, my ship got trapped because we decided not to log in, and there was...
There was what? You're keeping me in suspense here.
Oh, I realized I wasn't hitting the button.
Chaos, doom, despair.
Oh, it's something like that. Basically, after the battle went to downtime where the servers did their daily reset, and we were told not to log back in. Our enemy logged back in, and they were safe on a keep star with all 500 Titans ready to doomsday anything that even logged in. And most of our super capital forces got trapped for a month. That's not a joke. People could not log into their specific tunes, for a month.
Good God.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
However, this is the time of vaults.
Neon,
Mm-hmm.
do you actually want to run this campaign?
Yeah.
Because what you're posting in the chat is giving me questions of, are you actually sure you want to run it?
Important to be one step.
It's
He's just
okay if you
venting.
don't.
What do I mean by
Okay.
that? Well, you could do a number of things. You could have a trap door for
Just get a
sneaky
lot of
getaway.
aim. I
You
get
could
very
install
anxious.
your panic room in a hall of mirrors. Or
Neon,
you could
just
hang a
try it out
sign
for
on
like
the
one
door that
session or
says,
two,
"Out
see how
for
it feels, and
lunch."
see if that's something you want to continue.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of glad I get to have these test sessions instead of just
Frequently asked questions.
going straight to streaming. It actually works a little bit better for
I
me.
believe in you.
But like, kind of, don't feel like you have to take it on all by yourself either. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask me, Zim, or any one of these very knowledgeable individuals in here.
I keep saying, I am right here. I am ready to help.
And if you don't feel comfortable asking the people who are in your game because you don't want to spoil anything, I'm not!
Mm-hmm.
Mind if I PM you just so I have you in my...
Be my guest.
Alright.
Heck, I'm on Zim's Discord. You can add me there, too.
We're literally in the same Discord.
What system are you playing this on? And I don't mean D&D. I mean, like, are you on Roll20? Are you on Tabletop Simulator?
Fantasy Grounds.
Fantasy Grounds. I haven't used it before, but I'm learning fast.
Okay. I was going to say, if you were using Tabletop Simulator, you could take my DM bag, and that'll give you a lot of resources you can use if something unexpected comes up. And you're still more than welcome to, like, say, take the resources from it, and, you know, just keep a Tabletop Simulator window open and just use it as you need it. Or if you need something specific from the bag, I can send it your way.
Sorry, I was distracted for a second. What was that?
That's okay, I was just eating my beard.
No, I'm sorry. Come on.
What I was saying is, if you need some resources, you could open up Tabletop Simulator, use my DM bag, or if there's something specific you want from it, I could always send it to you.
Ah. I should know how to open that. Yeah.
Yeah, because the resources I put in that bag are meant to help me out as a DM if something unexpected pops up. So, like, for example, oh, they met an NPC and I'm having a hard time coming up with a name. I can take out a book and come up with a name right away.
Josh Wilson.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Okay.
I grab nearby fantasy novel, open up, take first name of one character, last name of another character, that's it.
Witherbum?
I'm actually terrible at names, but what I learned is just stick with the names. No one's going to quit or have a bad time because the bad guy is named John Appleton.
Exactly.
Could I get pause on this conversation for a moment? I am just, I want to switch games real quick, so I'm going to do a quick closing real quick. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on 2 Point Campus so far. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, and more there on the website, as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. It is because of your support that I'm able to continue bringing these streams to you all. I really cannot do this without your guys' help and support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It is one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by picking up packs on stream loots, or by simply sharing the stream around. And of course, don't forget to check out all of my streamer friends that have been joining me tonight. We've got Rygon Plays, Panthonea Silverwood, and Kurama X and Eve. You really should change that name.
But Eve.
Just gotta say you believe.
Anyways, thanks for joining. Oh, and Blue Draconics 381. I forgot that you joined. Sorry.
Can I throw the hammer at him, please?
The chat
I'm adding you to the list. I'm adding you to the list. Anyways, thanks for joining, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.